Just 2 days ago, a man and his wife woke up and found a strange man in their bedroom. The intruder threatened the two and attempted to assault the woman. Her husband shot the intruder and killed him. Today, 2 men crashed through the door of War Acres Reserve Police Officer Russ Robinson. Robinson grabbed a pistol and a shotgun, fired at the 2 fleeing men, and killed them both. That's 3 apparent burglary suspects killed by their intended victims in 1 week. However, District Attorney Bob Macy says there is no trend here.
I don't think so, Ted. I see these as isolated incidents. We have one incident in which a man broke into the house and burglarized it, and although the husband was aware he was there, he didn't use deadly force until that man attacked his wife. When he attacked his wife, at that point, the man resorted to deadly force and did kill him. In the second case where the 2 burglars were shot, the man was inside his own home when the 2 burglars broke in. And so I don't see this any kind of a trend. I think it's 2 isolated incidents that just happened close together.
Although Macy says he has yet to review today's incident, both the shootings were probably justified.
If a person is breaking into your house, Ted, is attacking either your home, your person, or a member of your family, you have a right to repel that with whatever force is necessary to stop it. On the other hand, after they've committed a felony and broke into your home and they attempt to flee, again, you have the right to use whatever force is necessary to stop them, including deadly force if they have committed a felony.
Some may say that's a harsh punishment for someone who just wanted to steal your valuables, but today a man was stabbed to death by intruders in his own home. A grim reminder that not all break-ins are just for money. Ted Brown, Action 4.
If this movie was designed to show that Jacqueline Bisset and Candice Bergen can be serious actresses and not just pretty faces, it didn't quite reach the goal. Oh, but it was close, but I was a little disappointed in this movie. It's about the close friendship of 2 women and the ups and downs they encounter which test that friendship personally and professionally. Jacqueline Bisset plays a serious writer. Candice Bergen, starting off as a housewife living in Malibu, tries her hand at writing. The result is a bestseller about Hollywood gossip. Bergen's novels seem to be the trashy type, which turn out to be bestsellers. In the meantime, she loses her husband, played by David Selby. Although the chemistry between Bisset and Bergen is good, I did get tired of all the scenes where they did nothing but yell at each other. If this movie was designed to show that Jacqueline Bisset and Candice Bergen can be serious actresses and not just pretty faces, it didn't quite reach the goal. Oh, but it was close, but I was a little disappointed in this movie. It's about the close friendship of 2 women and the ups and downs they encounter which test that friendship personally and professionally. Jacqueline Bisset plays a serious writer. Candice Bergen, starting off as a housewife living in Malibu, tries her hand at writing. The result is a bestseller about Hollywood gossip. Bergen's novels seem to be the trashy type, which turn out to be bestsellers. In the meantime, she loses her husband, played by David Selby. Now, although the chemistry between Bisset and Bergen is good, I did get tired of all the scenes where they did nothing but yell at each other. Those got to be rather irritating.
I do not believe that.
Believe it. There is a difference between serious acting and straining, stressful, screaming dialogue. Throughout the whole picture, we see the love between the 2. We see the competitiveness as professional writers, and we see the tension all of this creates. It even gets to the point where Bergen accuses Bisset of having an affair with her husband.
I began to smell there was something he didn't want to say. I bought him a drink, and it all came tumbling out. You bought him a drink? What a petty, disgusting confession it was. Me, the unsuspecting wife, blaming myself over the years as I sensed my husband slowly but surely slipping away from me. Does that sound like Doug's words? Isn't it true that all the time he was married to me, he was pouring out his love for you? He mentioned it while married to me at the last, and he proposed. Mary, I said no.
Rich and Famous was directed by the legendary woman's director, George Cukor. He did a good job except for those screaming scenes. Although I was somewhat disappointed in the overall film, I will say that Jacqueline Bisset and Candice Bergen do have talent, along with their beauty. The movie did achieve one thing. It shows us a film about 2 female friends, something we haven't seen in quite a while. I'm Dean O'Lally.
The Wewoka drill team got a chance to work out today. The flag twirlers haven't had many chances to strut their stuff these past 9 days, while education officials tried to lick the school's lice problem. The Wewoka drill team got a chance to work out today. The flag twirlers haven't had many chances to strut their stuff these past 9 days, while education officials tried to lick the school's lice problem. The tiny parasites have been bugging Wewoka students all semester. Educators hope a thorough building fumigation and careful examination of the students will bring the infestation under control. This morning's close inspection revealed one live lice case among the school's 1,100 students. 29 other pupils had dead lice or eggs in their hair. All infested students were sent home for 3 days. They'll be readmitted after they're completely lice-free. Meanwhile, school officials will just have to wait and see if the final curtain has fallen on their melodrama. Medical experts make an interesting point. They say that thousands of schools across the country have unidentified lice epidemics. The difference here may be that Wewoka school officials are aware of their problem. Scott Wallace, Action 4 in Wewoka.
Most of us don't remember the first steps, walking for the first time. That was a long time ago, and we were too young to have those steps etched in our memories.
Can you get on the board? Get on board.
8-year-old Janice Laurent has no trouble remembering her first steps. Yesterday, for the first time in her life, Janice walked.
So now you ready to get off? We're going to get off the board. Janice, get off the board. Can you get off? Get on your knees. Come on, get off the board. I just took her down to stand in front of a new room so she could see something new. And I expected her just to stand there, and then there was a table about 4 feet away, and she started walking, and I thought she'd grab onto the table for dear life, but she just walked right around the table and kept going and went all over the whole school. I told her mother rushed down to the school to see this after we called her, and I said, don't expect this after you get home. I said, this is just too much. And we told the principal, don't expect this tomorrow. And then we came to work today, and she's still doing it today.
Touch floor. Touch floor. Good, and push. Good girl. Good for you.
Janice is walking thanks to sensory integration, a stimulation program that is helping her overcome the effects of cerebral palsy. The program includes sensations like spinning, rocking, and fast movement, all new to Janice. She's been on her own for a whole day now, taking but a step at a time. But in this case, a small step is a great accomplishment. Larry Otis, Action 4.
2 weeks ago, the Oklahoma City Council gave the go-ahead to build this garbage transfer station at Northwest 115th and Santa Fe. That decision upset nearby residents who were concerned about environmental, health, and aesthetic aspects of the site. Area homeowners threatened to sue the city over its decision. But now the neighbors say they'd like to work with the city on its garbage transfer station plans. They say they'll go along with the project if the city satisfies their specific fears to the site.
Approximately 50 of the most...
The residents have dropped their lawsuit plans for now, but they want to make it clear they haven't closed the door on future lawsuits.
Absolutely not. We feel that, speaking quite frankly, that this plan of approach can serve with cooperation on the part of the city and on the part of Ochre. We feel this approach will make unnecessary a lawsuit. But equally, we feel that if this approach is rebuffed, that in itself would strengthen our grounds for legal action.
The North Side neighbors still have about $3,000 in their war chest in case they later decide to proceed with legal action. Scott Wallace, Action 4, Northwest Oklahoma City.
Carol Rise has succeeded in transforming the power of John Fowles' 1969 bestseller to the screen. Rise and screenwriter Harold Pinter have a clever way of doing that. There are actually two stories being told. One is set in the 19th century, and the other is set in modern times. Now, all of this combined, the two parallel love stories, The French Lieutenant's Woman, is an encompassing, beautiful, and powerful film. The 19th century story, you've got Meryl Streep portraying Sarah, a rather strange lady, mysterious, jilted by a French lieutenant. The modern day story, she is Anna, an actress who is playing the part of Sarah in a movie. All right, now back to the 19th century story. A newcomer to the movies, Jeremy Irons plays Charles, an English gentleman who falls madly in love with Sarah. In modern day, he is Mike, an actor co-starring in that same movie about Sarah. Just to make things spicier, while making the movie, he is in love with Anna. So one side you've got Sarah and Charles, the other you've got Anna and Mike. The film changes back and forth, and at times it is irritating. So the point is, you've got a film in a film. When you see this movie, you've really got to pay attention. I like the way the movie starts. We see Streep in a Victorian dress, then all of a sudden a film slate comes slapping down and we realize that this is the movie in the movie. Whew. The one thing which holds this complicated film together is the strong performances of Streep and Irons. They are fantastic. I seem to like the contemporary setting a little better. The interaction of Anna and Mike, the two actors portraying Sarah and Charles.
I'll miss you.
I'll drive you up to the Cup so you finish lunch.
Yeah.
See you next, Anna.
Mm-hmm.
Think of us slogging away.
Oh, I will.
Am I going to see you in London?
That would be very, very difficult.
We are there for a fortnight. I must see you.
Okay.
As the real Sarah and Charles, their love is hidden but yet revealing. Charles first sees Sarah while walking with his fiancée. Sarah is a loner, shunned by society, the townspeople thinking she is mentally disturbed as she awaits the return of her French lieutenant. The film is unequal in that more time is devoted to the 19th century setting than the modern story, but it's all equal in the end. This movie is too deep and complex for one review, so I will end by saying the movie is beautifully made, all the performances are fantastic, and oh yes, watch out for the double ending. I'm Dean O'Lally.
Well, our Chief of Naval Operations has recently stated that he cannot guarantee that we have superiority over the Soviet Navy. However, we have a magnificent Navy. We have a 12 carrier force with their air wings. We have nuclear submarines, which are the best in the world. We have a wide lead in anti-submarine warfare. And we have a surface force, which is continually improving. Now, I think with the national leadership and the emphasis on building up the Navy, and also with the increased compensation that we've gotten lately, we look for a brighter future for the Navy.
Here's a familiar sight, a row of brand spanking new 81 cars with no buyers anywhere in sight. Would-be new car buyers have decided $8,000, $10,000, or $12,000 is too much for 3 or 4 years of transportation. Chevrolet is offering low-interest loans, but apparently not low enough. Sales have slumped enough to lay off GM workers and cut production. While new car dealers have little business, the used car lot next door has more than it can handle. Since used cars are cheaper, they're in demand. But you know what happens to products in demand, the price goes up.
Larry, this Caprice Classic here is a 77 model with 40,000 miles on it. 2 months ago, I thought $2,500 would be as high as I could go to buy this automobile to retail, and I ended up giving $3,300 for it because it's one of those types.
So you waited to buy it?
I gave $3,300 for the car because it's a 40,000 mile, 77 model, nice automobile.
And how much will you sell it for?
Around $4,000, and it'll bring it. They're just, you can't find clean used automobiles, and the people are going to them.
Doesn't really seem to matter whether it's a 2-door, 4-door, sports car, even a pickup truck. If it's used, it's cheaper, and that means it's selling. Larry Otis, Action 4, Edmond.
Graveyards, generally, are not popular places to be at night, especially with Halloween approaching. But one Shawnee cemetery has been pretty lively each night for the past couple of weeks. Patrols are keeping a close watch on the place because 2 weeks ago, vandals knocked down 45 tombstones. That makes a total of about 85 markers over the past 6 months.
Well, I think it's very sad. I don't believe that the people that are doing it are aware of what the cemetery means or what these monuments mean to the families. I'm sure that maybe they have not experienced a death in their family of someone close to them, so that they know how important having this memorial in the cemetery is.
It's important to some that it doesn't happen again. Volunteers had to physically set the stones back up, and some of them were damaged. They're not only increasing security, they're offering a $100 reward to whoever will help them catch the vandals. Meanwhile, the cost of repairing or replacing the damaged stones falls to the families who want their loved ones remembered. Ted Brown, Action 4 in Shawnee.
The witnesses in the area report hearing several shots shortly before 9 o'clock this morning. Of course, when police arrived, there were a number of people here. We will be questioning several witnesses for the next few hours. Initially, the motive is believed to be one of a domestic nature.
Oklahoma Gas and Electric was the first utility to receive a rate hike this year. The original request for $141 million had been pending since December of '79. The Corporation Commission approved a $78 million increase. Then in April of this year, OG&E asked for an additional $76 million. Less than 2 weeks ago, the Commission okayed a $54 million raise. OG&E says it needs the extra cash for two reasons: to finance its recently finished Sooner Unit 2 coal-fired electric generating plant and to keep up with inflation. Double-digit inflation is also the reason Oklahoma Natural Gas says it needs an extra $31 million from its customers. ONG asked for a $37 million hike last February. The Commission cut that request by $10 million. Even if the current request is denied, ONG customers could wind up paying more for their natural gas. The company has been paying more for its gas these days, and those fuel costs are passed directly to ONG customers. The cost of using a telephone has also risen this year. Southwestern Bell asked for a $74 million increase in customer rates last winter. The Corporation Commission decided $59 million was sufficient. The extra money shows up in higher service connection fees, increased business phone charges, and higher rates for long-distance customers who use operator assistance. Bell has no current rate cases pending before the Corporation Commission, but a hearing on phone company accounting practices next month could result in higher phone rates. None of the utilities knows for sure when they'll be back asking for more money, but if double-digit inflation is not brought under control soon, it's a safe bet 1982 will be as busy for the Corporation Commissioners as 1981 has been. Scott Wallace, Action 4.
The 62 miles of track between Hydro and Elk City have been dormant for 3 years. But if a contract is signed permitting the state of Oklahoma to buy the line for $3.1 million, the first rail operations on the former Rock Island track could begin within 3 weeks.
The Rock Island, of course, was simply a company. They are bankrupt, they're gone now. So we're talking about the service that they provided. And when you talk about a grain elevator on a line out in western Oklahoma that has no rail service now, you're talking about a real problem. You're talking about a problem not only to Oklahoma, but you're talking about the price of food nationwide.
When and if the state purchases the line, Murphy says the track will be leased to a short-line rail company from New Jersey for a percentage of the revenue. Even though there's been a lot of criticism about the state getting involved in this project, Murphy said the rail service is an extremely important part of the transportation department. He said as soon as the state gets the service back in order, it will be given back to private enterprise. Ben McCain, Action 4 at the State Capitol Complex.
Rising crime in the streets is one thing, but when it moves into your home, it's quite another. After all, you have so much to lose in your home, like valuable antiques, television and stereo equipment, or your own life or that of your family. That's why many people are turning to these sophisticated electronic burglar alarm systems. Now, they won't necessarily capture the burglar or keep your house from being damaged, but if an intruder does come in, at least you'll know it and have time to get out. Having someone watch over your home electronically is getting very popular. The burglar alarm business is up 20% this year. One sales representative says rising alarm sales almost parallel rising crime rates. And it's private homeowners who are doing the buying.
Criminals are moving from the commercial businesses now back out into the residential areas, the suburban areas, out into the countryside, because it's so easy to break into a home and it's very lucrative, very lucrative.
It's lucrative for the burglar and dangerous for the resident. Long says the main purpose of any good security system is personal safety. You can replace the TV, but you can't replace your life. which is why the electronic watchdog business will probably continue to grow. Ted Brown, Action 4.
Have you ever had people without medical training draw blood at any of your clinics?
No, certainly not to my knowledge.
Describe a physical examination given to a client at one of your clinics.
The doctor reviews lab records, reviews medical history, and actually sits down with the prospective patient.
Sits down with the patient. I mean, does he take him in and give him a full physical examination?
No, not in every case.
In how many cases? What percentage?
I don't know. Really don't.
Do you think that's adequate medical supervision?
Yes, I sure do.
If someone came to your clinic and had emphysema, would it be diagnosed?
I would certainly think so, but I don't know, Bill.
Are your diets individualized?
Yes, they are. We start them on a base dietary program, and then as they proceed through the program, Bill, it's individualized from that point forward. What you have to do is balance the dietary intake between fats and carbohydrates, as well as protein.
Do you explain to people that?
Oh, absolutely.
And that's happened to every patient? You've never had a group of 15 people come in and you just give them a diet and say stick to it?
Oh, not to my knowledge, absolutely not.
A 2-year-old girl was badly mauled by this 1-year-old tiger yesterday during a promotional photo stunt. The owner of the animal is 19-year-old John Ains, who runs his exotic farm in Choctaw. John's father, Ted, says John is very careful and responsible with his animals. He says the young man has worked hard to make sure he's within limits of all city, state, and federal laws. All of the animals John keeps have been born in captivity and are, in his opinion, domesticated. But much controversy has risen over whether a wild animal can ever be domesticated and overcome its natural instincts for survival.
Fully grown, she'll weigh about 115 pounds and be about 7 feet long, including the tail, which is, going to be a very big tail. And your cougars are the easiest of the big cats to domesticate. And they will behave how you raise them. You cannot, they're like dogs or people. You can't generalize and say all big cats are going to be vicious or hard to handle, or even all cougars. It depends on how they're raised.
Since Kathy's husband is allergic to dogs, they bought Tiffany for protection. They feel that animals raised in households and not cages can become part of the family. Tiffany's given a lot of love and affection, which in Kathy's words makes her an adorable pet. But Kathy admits that many owners of exotic pets are not aware of the great amount of time, care, and devotion they take, and therefore should not own one. Kathy feels a great responsibility for the safety of her cougar as well as those people around her. Carol Lambert, Action 4.